Welcome to the show. This is BlackBeardLogic. I am your host, Leon Francis, and today we're diving into the real fights that matter. Faith under fire, taxpayer ripoffs, party power struggles, and a whole lot more. We kick off with a bombshell from a retired attorney and substitute teacher, Craig Richie, on the Scott Hannon Show. The Fargo public schools aren't neutral anymore. They're full-on Christian hostile zones. He details getting fired after teaching a history class lesson on the leadership that mentioned Jesus Christ as the greatest leader ever. The administration panicked, and now he's sounding the alarm over how faith-based views are being suppressed in our classrooms. And then next up to bat is Scott Jennings. He takes on the liberal panel over Medicaid for illegal immigrants, questioning why taxpayer dollars should cover non-citizens while Americans struggle. The sparks flew, and it's a debate we need more of. Speaking of the party, the NDGOP is stronger, in my humble opinion, with grassroots conservatives, populists, or inclusive, inviting everyday folks to get involved, to show up, and to make their voices heard. Meanwhile, the establishment wing is boycotting meetings and conventions, making excuses instead of engaging. The recent statewide incumbent skip of the March 28th and 29th convention in Minot proves it. You might be a rhino if Rob Port agrees with your position. The grassroots aren't backing down. Now on to the fraud front. Massive scale taxpayer theft. Reports of $200 million plus in Medicare and Medi-Cal funds stolen through fake or ghost operation. Fraudsters allegedly living in luxury, billing for services they never provided, while real patients get shortchanged. I'll have Nick Shirley, I'll have Sarah Gonzalez, and we'll go through the data ourselves. This is criminal abuse of the system we will all pay into. We also have the latest from Scott Hannon's interview with Fargo Police Chief Dave Zibolski, breaking down the AI-related fiasco in an investigation where the chief defends the department's use of AI, but insists no mistakes were made. I don't agree with that. The controversy is swirling. We're going to get the unfiltered side of that argument. Election integrity alert. The DuPage County Clerk's statement raises eyebrows, namely mine. It seems to me that she is alerting illegal immigrants on different venues they can go to avoid ICE when voting. She's even set up a hotline that you could call if you see ICE. To me, this screams election interference. I want to get your take. And here is a health bombshell. A recent study of 1.7 million kids found all documented cases of myocarditis and pericarditis occurred in those who received the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine. 0 cases in the unvaccinated kids. In this group, in this study, these are concerning numbers. But we're going to dig into it. On the lighter but savage note, the Afro Man trial. It has been one of the funniest courtroom spectacles I've ever seen. Cops suing the rapper over music videos mocking their botched raid on his home, complete with viral moments, tears on the stand, and Afro Man coming out on top. I can't believe I'm talking about this story, but it is the biggest story in the country, and we're going to talk about it. I'll give you my full take on why it is a win for free speech, actually. So just stick around. We're unpacking all this and more. No spin, no apology, just BlackBeardLogic with your host, Leon Francis. Let's get it.
I don't know why that was so buggy. Happy first day of spring. And we actually have no, if you could see out that window, you would see that we have 0 snow out there. Like there's 0 snow out there. I'm shocked and amazed. I'm very happy. I'm sad though, because today we lost a great man. And when I talk about peak masculinity, I'm talking about this dude here. I'm gonna play you something, and I'm kind of an old soul, so this kind of stuff appeals to me. I'm gonna play you an ode to Chuck Norris before we dig into the show today. So here we go.
Chuck Norris is right behind you.
I heard superheroes read Chuck Norris comics.
I heard at night the boogeyman checks into the bed for Chuck.
I heard Chuck Norris's reflection won't even look him in the eye.
I heard when cops need cops, they call Chuck Norris.
I heard when Chuck gets in the water, sharks get out of the ocean.
I heard when Chuck Norris is hiking, grizzlies look out for him.
I heard Chuck Norris rides the motor without the cycle.
I heard Chuck Norris wears a hat to protect the sun.
I heard medicine takes Chuck Norris to feel better.
I heard what actually killed the dinosaurs was Chuck Norris.
I heard cats say they have Chuck-like reflexes. You think he's still got it?
I'll bet you $1 he catches his salt shaker.
You're on.
Hey, Chuck!
So
You owe me $1.
Don't look.
Iranian mullahs informed. I want to go back to that. I want you guys to see that. It was pretty cool. Iranian mullahs informed that less than 24 hours after the passage of Chuck Norris, there are no more virgins in heaven. So there you go. I think that's pretty awesome right there, man. Anyway, welcome to the show. I am Leon Francis, your host. This is BlackBeardLogic on the Guns in the 701 network. I'm a little tired. It's been a long day, so just bear with me through all the hiccups and the ups and the down and all of that good stuff. JD, how's it hanging, brother? Seriously, how's it? No, I'm kidding. Anyway, busy week. Busy week. I started off this week, and what I normally do, like throughout the week, I'm driving in the truck, you know, and I'll hear something that kind of piques my interest, and then I'll dig into it a little bit. Whenever I get home, I'll just make a mental note of it. A couple of things from local guys piqued my interest, and like one of these stories, it's a local story, but it has gotten national attention. We're going to unpack that, and that is the what's her name, good gravy, I'm drawing a blank. I told you I'm tired. I'm a little, the Angela Lip story, I call it the AI fiasco. We're going to dig into that, but like everyone from MSNBC and CNN, even the libs of TikTok have weighed in on this story. So it's a nationwide story. It is the if I remember correctly, the longest incarcerated AI. I'll get it right here in just a second. The story is just, I can't. And then I don't know if you guys heard this morning. Again, I've been up for quite some time. This morning I was on K-Fire with my good buddy Todd, the radio guy, and we just kind of kicked it around a little bit. I got a ton of text from that segment, man. It was pretty fire. I kind of went off a little bit, but we started off talking about Afro Man, and we're going to hit the story on the back end of the show. I had no idea who Afro Man was, had never heard of an Afro Man. Well, you know, besides the obvious, you know. But I think it was last week, maybe Monday. It might have been Monday. I think Gabriel, my buddy Gabriel Benton, sent me a message about Afro Man, and I'm like, who the hell is Afro Man? He's a guy with big old afro, American flag suit, just good God. I'm like, okay. And then I got to digging into the story. That is a fascinating story. Like, the music is horrible. Like, let's get it straight. You're not gonna come to any event that I'm at or to my house and hear me bumping Afro Man. I mean, I don't even think you can bump it. The music is horrible. And I'm not talking about Like the whole thing is just bad music. Like it's parody music, but it is hilarious. It's funny. It's in the some of you older guys and gals out there might remember Weird Al Yankovic. Why am I hearing that echo again? Good gravy. Weird Al Yankovic. Uh, I kind of compare him to that guy when we're talking about quality of music. So we're going to talk about that on the back end of this thing. To kick it off, though, we're going to go to something, I guess, a little serious. I don't take these guys serious. I'm sorry. They're just not. I don't even understand how a lot of the debate that you don't like because I got no, I don't, man. I I did. Todd did send me that, and he told me this morning that he used to play that just to see the reactions in whatever club or bar or whatever he was in, just to see the reactions. Like it's just horrible, dude. Like if you want to, not during the podcast, but if you want to later tonight, go check out what is it, lemon pound cake or lick Lisa. That one is hilarious. Like I couldn't even, I couldn't watch the whole thing. I was splitting my side, and apparently he came out with a new one now because he won his case. But I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm saving that for the tail end of this thing. Right now, I want to talk about Scott Jennings. So yeah, I'm a huge Scott Jennings fan. I don't understand how he makes it through the day without his face falling off from laughing at those idiotic liberals that he has to debate. But this debate, it kind of struck me just how dumb when they don't have an argument, they always run back to race, and you'll see this. It's all empathy with them. It's all feelings. There's no rational thought over there. There's none. And when the guy that brings the rational thought has to kind of sit there and listen to a bunch of children going, my feelings. That's the way it comes across to me. So we're gonna do this. We're gonna listen to a little bit of and all of the clips that I play. Just know that they are edited. I edit them for time because I don't want to play a whole clip and take up all that time. So I edit it down for time. Content I don't believe or context I don't believe is harmed at all. If you think it is, shoot me a text or something. And these stupid bots, God, I hate these guys. Add to block list. There we go. But and they only come from Kick, only from Kick. Like I have Rumble, I have Twitch, I have YouTube, I have Facebook, Twitter. All those guys never get those bots outside of Kick. So I might be getting off that thing. Yeah, you might not see me over there. But anyway, let's go and play this Scott Jennings. Good. See, I'm tired. Scott Jennings clip.
Deserves health care.
Even illegals?
Every single person in the world deserves.
Just for the record, as a candidate, you're for illegal aliens getting Medicaid.
I think everyone in the world deserves
That's a
health
yes.
care.
That's a yes.
I'm such a
That's a Democratic position.
It is a yes, but
Yeah.
What happened?
Illegal aliens should get Medicaid.
Everyone in the world deserves
That's a
health
yes.
care.
That's a yes.
I'm such
That's a Democratic position.
It is a yes, but
Yeah.
It's a Democratic
Everyone in the
position.
world
Illegal
deserves
aliens
health
should
care.
It
get
stopped.
Medicaid.
But I mean,
Let me know if that's playing.
But how is it controversial?
How is it?
It stopped on my end.
Everyone in the world deserves
That's a
health
yes.
care.
That's a yes.
I'm such
That's a
a
Democratic position.
it is a yes, but
Yeah.
It's a Democratic
Everyone in the
position.
world
Illegal
deserves
aliens should
healthcare.
get Medicaid.
but I mean,
How is it controversial?
I don't.
But how is it controversial?
How is it controversial that they can help somebody die in the hospital because they can't afford
Who do you
it?
think pays for health care when undocumented people show up at a hospital? Who pays for that?
We all pay for it.
Exactly.
Including
I mean, we all
undocumented
pay
people
for
because
it.
they actually contribute.
That's the point. That's the point.
We do realize that
Who pays for the welfare system in this country generally? Taxpayers. Are you for it or not?
Can I start my logic train?
Are
with
you for it or not?
My logic train starts with
Just-
the fact
just
that
say
I don't
this.
want to. I don't want to kick 11 million people off
Do you
of
want
Medicaid.
illegal aliens on or not?
Do I want first of all, do I want undocumented citizens to have health care? Yes. The answer is yes.
Scott,
okay.
if someone is
More
undocumented,
Democrats.
do you want them to not get insulin if they're diabetic?
I want Medicaid to exist first and foremost for American citizens who need it.
What about second? How about this? When the people that are picking your peaches, yeah, I'm passionate about Americans.
Passionate for the illegals.
Bakari,
no, I'm passionate for Americans.
How dare you want people to be alive? How dare you?
Passionate for the illegals. Bring more.
No, I actually want safe and secure borders.
You need more. To make your vision of America work, we need more illegals who get more benefits. That's your version of America.
No, what I want from America is a place that was promised to us, Scott.
To the illegals?
Like you do. No, it was promised to us. It was promised to us. Not us, me and you, black and white, brown. Scott, do you think that your family was born here? You weren't born here, Scott.
I was born in
First of all, where does your family come from? My family wasn't born here. My family was actually from Sierra Leone.
You're making a passionate argument for a country built on unfettered illegal immigration, and that is not anywhere near a politically popular position.
Our country is built on immigration, period.
What kind?
Period.
What kind?
Oh, and first of all, before we go to commercial, what kind? What kind of immigration was I brought here?
You're already in the hole. You sure you don't want to stop digging?
Because it was slavery. That's not immigration.
Come on.
Well, okay.
Come on, what?
All right, there's a lot to be said. Hold on.
No, but you just can't say come on when somebody.
Everything that guy just said is bullshit. Thank you.
Yeah, that's pretty much I can't believe the level of stupidity here. And on my end, it was glitchy. And I don't know what that's about. I hope you guys got the whole picture there. But basically, you got Scott Jennings. He's in here arguing with liberals once again, and he's coming with cogent common sense, and they're coming with emotion. And you see, when they lose the argument, the little teeny bopper sits back. Oh, do you want people to die? Oh, and then the black dude, and I use dude in the very loosest sense of that word, and then the black dude goes right to slavery. Like, there's no middle ground. They're not arguing fact or policy or anything like that. It's strictly emotion with these guys. It's the most idiotic thing I've ever seen.
The answer's not come on.
Like, it's crazy. These people, they're not serious people, in my humble opinion. So, we're going to go through a couple of things. My thoughts on this whole Scott Jennings, arguing with liberals. So the first thing I'd say is Medicaid. It's not a global welfare program. It's an American taxpayer program. Scott's 100% right. Every dollar comes from the U.S. citizen and legal workers. So prioritizing citizens, that's not cruelty. That's basic math and fairness. Second point I'd make is everyone in the world deserves health care. Sounds nice until you ask who pays for it, like he did. Liberals offer zero answers to Scott's question. Open borders plus unlimited benefits is not compassion. It's fiscal suicide for the people already footing the bill. Third point. Citizens first is not a controversial argument. It's common sense in every country on earth. No nation gives its welfare system to the entire planet. Democrats act like America is the only country that must do this. That's not empathy. That's emotional virtue signaling. Don't let them get away with that. Fourth, personal family stories and slavery references don't change the policies. Scott's point isn't about ancestry. It's about current law and limited resources. Bringing up my family came from Sierra Leone or slavery, that's a distraction. It's not a rebuttal to who funds Medicaid. Like, this isn't this isn't difficult, folks. Fifth point, Democrats are admitting their real position here. American citizens come second to them. Scott forced them to say it out loud. And illegal aliens get insulin before American diabetics in need. That is their compassion. They're putting the non-citizen ahead of the people who built and fund and sustain the system. 6th point. This is why the border crisis keeps growing. When you advertise free healthcare, free housing, and benefits to the entire world, more people are going to come. Scott's trying to close that loophole, and liberals are emotionally defending it. It is an unsustainable train of logic, I guess you'd call it. It's just the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Here, give me 1 second. I'm looking for my notes. So, Scott, he came there trying to have a logical policy discussion. The liberals responded with feelings and guilt and interruptions and proving his point that emotion does not carry the day. It can't. 1 second. So, when I look at something like this, you look at the arguments that they bring to the table, and this is pretty much any liberal arguing any point ever, in my humble opinion, in my experience. Best and cheapest bots ever. Jesus. Like, it's all... This is unbelievable. Like, you cannot believe how many kicked bots I have right now. I'll show you guys. Give me a second. So I'm not gonna have kick on here. Everything with a K. Those are all bots. That's probably why it's lagging so badly. Anyway, let's get back to this. So, the opening liberal position is always emotion. Every single person in the world deserves health care. Illegal aliens should get health care. Mental health care. You know, how is it controversial, they say. And then you ask who pays, they deflect. The correct response there is, we all pay. All of us. Me, you, every day when I go out and I work and I come and drag butt back into the house, I'm paying for those illegals and for all of that empathy that these idiots are expounding or expelling or whatever. Scott, he always starts where I would start, from first principle. But these people, they can't articulate. They can't formulate in their brain an argument from first principle standpoint. I want Medicaid to exist first and foremost for American citizens who need it. That's my position. They can't hold that argument in their head. He also points out the obvious. The taxpayers, the Americans, are the ones paying, not everyone in the world. So if we're paying for everyone in the world to come here and get first-class health care, and they're not, what's stopping all? Why do you think we got 20 million people that flooded in under the Biden administration? It's crazy. He challenged them directly. You're saying illegal aliens get insulin, but American citizens in need get pushed down the line. And they didn't answer that. The little teeny bopper just kind of sat back and crossed her arms. It's kind of ridiculous. I'm going to go to our first commercial, and I'm going to try to kick all these bots off. You guys bear with me while I do that. We will be right back right after this break.
Hey, it's Leon Francis from BlackBeardLogic on the Guns and the 701 Network. I'll be right back after these messages from our sponsors. Stay tuned.
When you want it done right, go where lemons go. Kalen's Auto Service, owned and operated by Kalen and Misty Foss, lifelong locals with over 25 years experience. From modern rides to classic restorations, they can handle it all. Top quality work, fair price, and honest hometown values. Located just 1 block south of Highway 12 on 6th Avenue West in Lemon. Kalen's Auto Service, serving you with all your auto repair needs.
Flower Auto Repair, located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Give them a call at 701-258-6308.
The team of mechanics at Lauer Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with Lauer, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake.
Make no mistake.
Lauer Auto is your pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at Lauer Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our pro Second Amendment, pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's Lauer Auto Repair, 701-258-6308.
701-258-6308.
Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Come on, no!
Welcome back. It's Leon Francis with BlackBeardLogic on the Guns and the 701 Network. Let's get it. Yeah, I always like Scott because he does the thing that I couldn't do. I could not sit there and argue with those bunch of idiots every night. I mean, I guess if it's a good paycheck, to sit there with a bunch of children and kind of babysit and show how much more intelligent you are than they are, I guess that's a good gig if you can get it. Thanks for tuning in, Lynette. We're sitting outside. Gorgeous night for BlackBeardLogic. You know, when I was driving in, I was looking at that. Man, it looks like a good night for a fire. So I think when I'm done here, I think I don't even think the sun sets till around 7 or 8 tonight. Yeah, me and Eli might get out there, and I got some wood that I stored through the winter. Might throw a couple of logs on the old fire pit out there, and if it's not too wet, yeah, we might do this thing up. Doug, JD, Dan, thanks for tuning in. All you guys, I kick to the curb. I kicked kick to the curb. So hopefully we don't have that problem anymore. Thanks for that heads up there, Jamie. Anyway, so we're going to roll on to the Richie interview. Now, I think I heard this Monday. So I went in, and I'm a weird cat. Like, I can be driving, and something piques my interest. And if it really piques my interest, I'll pull over. I'll jot some notes down on my hand or, my Chinese takeout menu or whatever it is. And then when I get home, I dig into it. And so that's kind of what I did with this one. So and again, all of this stuff is edited for time. And I'm trying to keep the core of the argument, so all of the context, I hope, comes through. And if it doesn't, yell at me later. I'm too tired to care right now. So we're going to do the... okay, and let me set this one up for you. So this is Craig Richie, and he was on Scott Hannon's show. And he said something that I've known for quite some time. It's one of the reasons why we homeschool Eli, exactly because of this. Now, he says, and he's an attorney. He was a substitute teacher. Like, this guy's resume is it's brilliant. But he is a retired attorney and a substitute teacher. And he was fired after calling Jesus the greatest leader in history class. And he's not wrong, because you think of Genghis Khan, and he made these points, you think of Genghis Khan, you think of Alexander the Great, you think of Caesar, you think of all those guys None of those guys had the impact that Jesus Christ did in history. We count time by this guy. You know, billions of people worship him. Like my entire worldview is colored by Jesus Christ, and there is not another person in history that can say that. So he's not wrong to say that, but because you know what? I'm gonna play this, and you can hear it in his own words, and then we're gonna break it down. So here we go with that.
I don't want to waste another moment without introducing you to a friend of mine by the name of Craig Richie. Craig is in studio with us today. He's an attorney, and also in his free time, he gives of himself in retirement now as a substitute teacher in a number of schools around the area, and is going to talk about a concern he has about the constitutional rights of teachers not being respected in public schools. Thank you for coming here to tell your story. Mr. Richie, how are you?
Well, I'm doing well. I'm glad to be here.
I'm glad you're here as well.
So I've been around, and I substitute teach at all the different schools. But what I've found is, and it's sad, and I'm an example of it, but I'm not the whole thing. The Fargo public schools are a Christian hostile zone. Now, I don't mean neutral. I mean hostile. Okay. And I said, we all know Attila the Hun. We know Alexander the Great, but we don't remember. Historically, and I said historically, the greatest leader the world's ever known is Jesus Christ because we worship him today. And
pretty factual statement, even outside of what you believe faith-wise.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's world history.
It is world history, and I made sure I used the words historically speaking.
Okay.
And I told him, I said, my job is not to teach you what to think, but how to think. Well, anyway, at sixth period, the assistant principal came up, and he was all panicky. And the thing that got me was how afraid he was. And he said, you've offended someone. I said, well, what did I do? And
this is immediately after the class?
That came sixth period whenever I would have, so I don't know, sometime during the day.
Same day, though.
Same day. Yeah. Came up, you've offended somebody. I said, well, what did I do? And then I wear a tie. Usually it's a baseball tie, but that day it happened to be a tie with folded hands praying, which you're allowed to do and all that. So at any rate, he looked at that. He got sidetracked. I said, well, what did I do? Well, you offended somebody. He never got into it.
Do you think it was a parent, a student? We don't know.
Have no clue.
Okay.
And I said, well, what did I do? And I said, you can come into class and hear what I got to say. Well, I'm busy. I don't have time. And I said, just because somebody complains doesn't mean they're right. And I said, as an assistant principal, you have an obligation to not just agree with something, but to do the right thing.
Investigate, find out, dig into it a little bit. What's on your mind? Craig Richie joining us today, longtime lawyer, and I would say warrior on many fronts in his legal career for causes that not a lot of people sign up to defend and help. And really extraordinary career. I remember the things you did, Craig, on the pro-life side. Pretty phenomenal in your career. Am I adequately describing how you operated in the legal world?
Well, I always try to help the people, and a lot of times a little, what's happened in the Fargo School District. And when you see how afraid this assistant principal was of basically the woke crowd, that was scary. And so what happened was afterwards,
he kind of ends the conversation flustered. And then you leave for the day?
I leave for the day. The next day I get an email saying that the person that hires people wanted to talk to me to fire me. And so she finally gets a hold of me. We check at the end of the day, and she's yelling at me. And how dare I say something like this, or to say Jesus Christ was the greatest leader the world's ever known. And I said, I know I didn't do anything illegal, because here's what people don't understand. The law is twofold. You're allowed to practice your faith in the schools or anywhere. You cannot have religious instruction, and you cannot have a corporate prayer. That's it. And I told the principal that. I told this person that was firing me that. And then she gave the thing that most people believe is true. It's not. Separation of church and state. There is no such law.
So she cited that as a reason to fire you?
Yes. Separation of church and state. And she says that in this thing. Now, you either don't know the law or you're lying, because it isn't there. That was written by Jefferson to
But she said, you're done. We don't have anything to do with you. You're no longer substitute teaching Fargo public schools.
Here's the thing. I know of a nurse who was teaching at a junior high school, or not teaching, but was a nurse at a junior high school. And there was a girl that said she was a boy, but she was having her first period in her life. And
this is a girl who was saying she was a boy, but is having
a period. Okay. All right. So, and it was the first one, I understand. And the teacher, or the nurse, she overheard this nurse say, "She's in there." What they did is they wrote her up for that.
The nurse. Because she said she rather than the fact that he was a biological.
Yes.
I mean, she is a biological female.
Yes.
And so she addressed her properly, but not in what she wanted to be referred to as a he.
Exactly.
And you tell me the nurse got written up for that.
The nurse got written up and put on probation.
Where? What school?
Ben Franklin.
Okay.
And
elementary, middle school?
That's middle.
Yeah,
middle.
okay, middle school.
And anyway, but what happened is she said, "The heck with it, I quit. I'm not going to put up with that." And that's what happens to people. They don't stand up and they don't say anything. And I got to tell you, I don't want to stand up and do this. This is not about me. The reason I don't want to get into it too much, I don't about me. That's past. They've had a year and a half.
Yeah, so that to me that is insanity. That is absolute insanity. The Fargo public schools are absolutely a Christian hostile zone. They're not neutral. Like this again, I knew this, which is why I pulled my kids out of the Fargo public school system and put them in Shanley and Oak Grove, and now we are homeschooling Eli because I saw this coming. Like my oldest kid is almost 30, so I knew, And with this wasn't preaching; it was history. Like Richie explicitly said that historically speaking, and then tied it to a verifiable world history fact. Billions of people still worship Jesus Christ 2,000 years later. No prayer, no altar call, no you must believe. If that's feasible, then so is mentioning Alexander the Great, or Gandhi. Second point, separation of church and state, that's a myth. And we keep repeating that thing. It's not in the Constitution. Jefferson wrote it in a private letter. The actual First Amendment protects free exercise of religion and prevents government establishment of religion. Richie knows the law here. He's an attorney. The school either doesn't know or is deliberately misusing it to silence us. The third point, zero due process or investigation. An unnamed complaint. Instant panic from the assistant principal. A yelling HR person, guaranteed she was a woman, and then he got fired. No hearing, no specific, no chance to respond in class. That's not how adults handle disagreements. That's fear-driven censorship. Christian hostility is real, and here's the proof. The same district that wrote up that nurse for correctly identifying a girl's biology, first period, and fired this substitute teacher, Richie, for naming Jesus Christ as a historical figure, they embrace the LGBT mindset. They embrace, obviously, the whole trans thing. Think about that. The example that Richie gave, the nurse at Ben Franklin Middle School, written up. To me, that's unbelievable to me. Teachers' constitutional rights are being trampled. Public school employees do not lose their free speech or free speech exercise rights the moment they walk in the door. I've been saying this forever. And the Supreme Court has repeatedly said that private religious speech by teachers outside of the curriculum is protected. Richie stood up. Most people would have quit or stayed silent out of fear like that nurse did. And that's a problem. That's a problem. We need to, Genghis Khan had like 3,000 kids. Dude was a breeder, right? This is why all the good people are leaving public education. I know tons of parents that have gotten out. I know tons of teachers that have retired because they're just not going to do it. I mean, why would you do that? Why would you willingly go into a hostile environment and you have no overwatch? You have no overwatch. But the thing I want to press upon you guys is we got to do something. We have to start speaking out about this. I speak out loudly. Richie is 100% correct. He calmly explained the actual law. Teachers may practice their faith. Schools may not have religious instruction or corporate prayer, but separation of church and state is not in the Constitution. It came from a Jefferson letter to the Danbury Baptist Church. But how many of us know that? We hear it all the time. Separation of church and state. Separation of church and state. That's not in the Constitution. Evening one shot. That's not. It's not in the Constitution. Like, I think that more of us, and sometimes I kick myself for this, pulling my kids out. I just got tired of fighting with those guys. And they weren't only hostile to Christians. I think, and this is just me, and me and my wife, we've gone around about this. I think that a lot of those teachers were bigoted. They had a low expectation for my kids. That's the primary reason like all of this gay stuff was not going on back then. The primary reason I pull my kids out is because those teachers had such a low expectation for my children that it made me seem overbearing. Like I knew what my kids were capable of, and I held them to that standard. Yet when they went to school, they were not held to that standard. And that makes me upset. And I would go up there and I'd ask questions like, why did you do this? Why did you do X, Y, and Z? What's wrong with this? And that sort of thing. And they looked at me like I had three heads. They're like, who is this black man who thinks he's a father and thinks his kid, like it was the craziest thing I'd ever seen. They treated me like me holding my kids to a high academic standard was wrong. And every meeting, and I went to many of them, every meeting I ever went in was hostile. Every single one. And I said, why would I willingly send my children into this environment? And I get it. A lot of folks can't do that. I couldn't do it. If I didn't have the friends and the network that I had, because I was not then, am not now, a wealthy person. But we got to do something about this. Like, they're breaking our children. They are literally breaking our kids. I'm not being hyperbolic. They are. They're when you see like all of these kids out protesting ICE, when you see kitty litter in bathrooms, when you see the social contagion of all of these little white girls that are suddenly trans or suddenly bisexual, where do you think that comes from? Yeah, I am. I'm black, dude. Dan being a Weisenheimer. Where do you think that comes from? That comes from, one, parents abdicating their responsibility. If you think something weird is going on at your kid's school, it's not a time to be your kid's friend. Dad, don't go up there and make a scene. No, this is getting handled. And they're signs. There are always signs. Like, it blows my mind when I hear parents go, I had no idea. How not? How would you not have an idea that your kid is going through some things? Like, none of my, if my son, who took second in Iowa in MMA, came here to stay the weekend, I'm going in his room. It's my house. You know, hey, what are you doing in here? I thought I smelled something funny. What was that noise? It's my house. You don't get to go in there and lock the door. You don't get a computer where I don't have the password. You don't get a phone where I can't unlock it and see what you're doing. I don't understand it. We need involved parents, and we need to push back against these people who are breaking our children. They are breaking our children. They're making cogs for the machine, is what they're doing. And I'll say this too, and this probably won't be popular. I have never been on board with the whole mental health industry because I believe it's just that. It is an industry. You take God out of their lives. You put a secular placeholder in there, and you wonder why they're easily broken. Easily broken. And then you get in there and you tinker with them, and it makes them even more broken. And then you medicate them, and it breaks them a little more. And I know that's a kind of a long way around the point of the Fargo public school system being hostile to Christianity. But I believe it all goes hand in hand. All of it. I believe you don't get the one without the other. I believe without a Christian moral base, you get broken children. You get homes that are divided. You get a hostile work environment. I believe how are you supposed to be a nurse at a middle school? Like, puzzle this out with me, please. How are you supposed to be a nurse in a middle school? These kids are coming into their adult bodies. They were kids, and now they're maturing. And you can't say whether or not this boy is a boy or this girl is. How does that work? Like he explained there, she was menstruating for the first time. Boys don't do that. If your son is menstruating, there's an issue there, a medical issue that needs to be taken care of. Calling him a little girl doesn't work. So how are you supposed to be a nurse in a setting like that? It blows my mind. And I think that there needs to... Liberals get out there, and I'm not advocating for like violent revolt or anything like that. Banish the thought. Like, no. But I see liberals getting out there, and they will riot, they will protest the craziest, most insane things known to man. And then what I see us, the common sense folks, the Christian folks. I see us silent when things like this happen. Like Richie, if you listen to that entire interview, and again, I edited it for time. It was a long interview. But if you listen to the whole interview, he's frustrated. And he is an attorney. He's an attorney. And he's frustrated. The outgoing people didn't do anything about it. The incoming people didn't do anything about it. You hear Scott kind of throw Rupa Gandhi under the bus. But the new guy, I can't remember his name, like, he was like, that guy's great. And Richie is like, well, none of those people have talked to me. Like, I keep sending letters. And communications. None of them will get back to me. Richie says in that interview, he told them, I don't want to sue. I'm not a sue-happy person. I just want someone to talk to me. And to my knowledge, as of that interview, no one had talked to him. That's a problem. And that's my 2 cents on that. I'm going to hit the second break because, man, I've just been going long here. Like, I don't know if I'm going to get through all of my stories. I hope so because I got some really good stories here. But here, I'm going to hit this commercial break, and we'll be right back right after this.
Located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Give them a call at 701-258-6308.
The team of mechanics at Lauer Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with Lauer, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake.
Make no mistake.
Lauer Auto is your pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at Lauer Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our pro Second Amendment, pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's Lauer Auto Repair, 701-258-6308.
701-258-6308.
Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
When you want it done right,
Go where lemons go.
Kalen's Auto Service, owned and operated by Kalen and Misty Foss, lifelong locals with over 25 years experience. From modern rides to classic restorations, they can handle it all. Top quality work, fair price, and honest hometown values. Located just 1 block south of Highway 12 on 6th Avenue West in Lemon. Kalen's Auto Service, serving you with all your auto repair needs.
For the best gun gear for every and any situation, Little Angry Man Arms LLC has you covered. Top-notch guns from top-name brands like Winchester, Glock, Sig Sauer, and Ruger to essential extras from Magpul's, Streamlight, Hollow, Sun Optics, and more. Little Angry Man Arms LLC have everything to make your shooting adventures a success. Visit littleangrymanarms.com today and gear up for your next big hunt, competition, or home defense. Don't miss out on our exclusive deals. Little Angry Man Arms LLC, based in Trail City, South Dakota, your ultimate hunting partner.
At Horton Laser Craft, we believe in the power of personalization. Whether it's a cherished memory, a special occasion, or a unique gift, our custom laser engraving brings your vision to life. Our expert craftsmen and state-of-the-art technology ensure every piece is a work of art. From personalized decor to one-of-a-kind keepsakes, Horton Lasercraft makes every moment unforgettable. Horton Lasercraft is owned and operated by a local veteran and his wife located near Thunderhawk, South Dakota. They provide custom laser products at a reasonable price, and their turnaround time is fast and efficient.
Custom board cutting, glassware, decanter sets, mugs, assorted stainless steel jewelry, assorted tags, decor, custom acrylic nightlights, and much, much more.
Call them up at 605-545-7535. Horton Lasercraft, where memories are engraved.
I'm sorry, JD. Welcome back, folks. I'm Leon Francis, your host of BlackBeardLogic on the Guns and the 701 network. But I'm reading through my comments, and I have a friend, soon to be ex-friend, who apparently has a plasma gun. And the first that I'm hearing about it is here in the comments. That ain't cool, brother. That ain't cool. Anyway, welcome back. I think I'm just going to kind of stick around in Fargo for a bit for my craziness. That is, Fargo. Pretty much everything in Fargo. We're going to talk about Angela Lipp a little bit. As of March 19th, 2026, no civil suit has been filed yet, but Lipp has retained Moorhead attorney Dane DeCray and St. Paul attorney Eric Rice, and is working with an ACLU attorney. Man, I hope. I hope she gets paid. I really do. They are investigating state and federal civil rights claim, likely 42 USC 1983 for unconstitutional deprivation of liberty, 100%, plus possible state claims against the city of Fargo. and potentially the state. Craig has publicly called this the longest AI-related wrongful detention case in U.S. history, and said that they are gathering records before deciding on filing, which would almost certainly land in federal court. The Fargo City Commissioners already held a closed executive session March 16th, specifically to discuss reasonably predictable or pending litigation involving LIP. And I guarantee you that's in the works. I mean, anyway, legal observers, including local attorney, on the radio, in the media locally here, described the city's exposure as significant, with taxpayers ultimately footing any settlement or judgment. I mean, of course, because the city of Fargo is broke. They're what, $1.3 billion in the hole. So Fargo taxpayers, you guys are going to be footing that bill. Lip has said she lost her home, her car, her belongings during the 5+ months in custody. She has a GoFundMe page, but I'm not big on, promoting GoFundMe. But she's raised a little bit of change, and I couldn't be happier for her. Could not be happier for her. Now, during that same interview, as I was driving, I believe it was Monday. Don't hold me to that. Again, I told you I'm tired. Look at my eyes. But Scott had the Dave Zibolski, the police chief. He had him on, I guess to clear up some things. But he left me, and I said this at the time. I forget who I was talking to, but that interview left me with a ton more questions than answers. Looking again, it says future plasma weapon, so maybe it's AI. Man, don't get me all excited about a plasma gun and then, bring me down like that, Dan. Come on now. Anyway, now back to the subject at hand. When someone mentions a pew pew, it just, I get all discombobulated. Just ask my wife. If she wants to get me to do anything around the house, all she has to do is, mention some firearm that I really love. And so I'm gonna break this down. She was jailed. Angela Lip. I'm back on topic now. She was jailed for nearly 6 months, 108 days in Tennessee, plus the time she was in North Dakota on a bogus fraud after AI facial recognition falsely matched her to a North Dakota bank surveillance footage. Now, and I researched this. There are tons of precedents for her. Qualified immunity may apply to individuals, but municipal liability is possible for policy failures relying solely on FRT without cooperation. And then the precedents would be Robin Williams, Detroit 2020. He settled in 2024. Portia Woodruff. A lot of these are from just at least 8 prior U.S. cases. Now, this one has gained national attention. So they're going to really want to dot every I, cross every T. And the thing that I picked up here in this interview was, I think that we rely way too heavily on systems and not enough on mother wit. And if you don't know what mother wit is, my dad used to say this all the time. Boy, you ain't got a lick of mother wit. Mother wit is just basic common sense. And here I think common sense was severely lacking, and some good old-fashioned detective shoe leather was also lacking. And I believe, and I have believed this for quite some time, a lot of times these systems are not set up as checks and balances. They're set up as rubber stamps. So they're not really looking out. Like, you go into the system, you want an attorney. And if you're poor, that's a problem. Because these systems, many times, are set up as rubber stamps. Like, this could have been caught at many points in this system that this chief is about to lay out for us, and quite badly, I think. I don't know. Maybe he did. Maybe he laid it out correctly. This interview, I was like, wait, what? I'm going to play, and again, this is edited for time because to play the whole thing, we'll be here all day. So all of the pertinent parts, especially when the chief is explaining the systems, that's what I got in there, and I kind of cut out a lot of it. But the part that I want you to hone in on is this. Here we go.
First of all, I want us to know about this case.
Well, thanks, Scott, for the opportunity to provide some broader context. We really felt that it was important to provide information. We've been, reticent to do so because this is an ongoing and active investigation, but based on what we believe is some gaps in some of the reporting and the statements that we've provided to a requester, we thought it was really important to help provide more context and information. So what I want to talk about is the procedure, the process, and the timeline that we've been able to piece together a little bit to clarify some of these things. So again, just to clarify, it's an active, open, and ongoing investigation. We've expressed that many times in some media requests. We take constitutional rights and due process of our community members very seriously. While AI was used as an investigative step, other steps were also taken prior to submitting this case to the state's attorney. So just to explain this procedure a little better so folks have a better understanding, police are the investigative arm. We go there, we collect evidence, we interview people, we put all of this together in a documented report. Then we send it to the state's attorney office for review of the potential criminal charges. We work hard to ensure that our investigations are objective and thorough before sending them to the state's attorney. So the state's attorney's role is really to review that, to make sure there's venue, elements of the crime, and that there's probable cause to issue the charges before they do so. And in this case, that's exactly what was done. The case was investigated. The state attorney looked at it, reviewed it, and decided to issue charges against Ms. Lips. From there, the state attorney then referred it to a judge for a warrant. That judge, who's also required by the Fourth Amendment to review that prior to issuing to ensure there's probable cause that a person committed a crime. That's what probable cause means. It's not guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. It's that someone probably committed a crime. And also reviewed it, issued the warrant, and authorized extradition. Again, that's the criminal justice system kind of in a nutshell, and that's how we do everything investigatively. That's what was done in this case. And so there were a lot of eyes on this from the beginning, and that we followed that process. Now, in terms of timelines, we know that the crimes occurred in late April and early May of 25. We have 4 offenses in Fargo in which it appears to be the same person. On July 14th, Ms. Lips was arrested in Tennessee, but she was there, and so extradition took a period of time. On October 20th, Tennessee notified Cass County that they had a waiver of extradition. On October 30th, she was booked into the Cass County jail. And as Cass County process is in the jail, they notify the state's attorney. They don't notify Fargo PD or whoever the original investigating entity is. That's been their practice ongoing, as far as we know, for some time, for a long time.
Threw her right under the bus.
And October 31st, Ms. Lips made her initial appearance. On December 5th of 25 was the first time our detective was advised by the state's attorney that Ms. Lips was in jail and that she had a court-appointed attorney, which means that we can't interview her without that attorney's consent and participation. On December 12th, the state's attorney advised our detective that the defense attorney had produced some potential exculpatory evidence that would show maybe she's not involved in this crime, which then caused them to arrange that interview with Ms. Lips and her attorney that occurred on December 19th. That led to some additional follow-up by our detectives on the 22nd, and then ultimately on the 23rd, doing everything that they could at that juncture, they decided that at this point it would be best to get the charges released while we conduct additional investigation, because we can't no longer determine definitively if she's involved or not involved. That led to her release on the 24th. We've also checked with the jail, Captain Frobig, in terms of what's available for people who are released from the jail, and they do have a winter clothing kit that they provide to someone if they would like to have it. And in checking their records, there was not a request made by Ms. Lips for that, or any other request made relative to any needs she might have upon discharge from the jail.
How is she supposed to know that? I mean, to me, this guy's throwing everybody under the bus. He threw the state's attorney under the bus. He's like, the reason, they didn't go talk to her, his investigators go and talk to her from October till December was when she was extradited from Tennessee. They don't tell us that. So she's sitting there in Cass County from October to December. Oh, I'm just going to let him dig this hole. Here we go.
And so that's the timeline as we know it right now. We're continuing to conduct a review of our investigative processes in attempts to identify any additional steps that could be utilized going forward, especially when dealing with AI. We know that there's AI in a lot of things that we deal with, and anything that we can add to our processes to make them better, we're certainly open to that, and that review is already in process. But again, just to reiterate that this case followed the criminal justice process in terms of putting that investigation together, having reviewed by the state's attorney, and an issuance by the judge. We'll be discussing likely communication with Cass County and the state's attorney about issues like this going forward to see if there's a better way to create notification so that we're at least aware that someone's in custody on one of our warrants. Not that, again, we could go over an interview without that attorney's approval, but it would be good for us to know that, I think, as well, to make this maybe a better system of information. And then likely this will be a topic at our Public Safety Task Force later today as well, I think. So that's kind of our overview in a nutshell that we wanted to provide to the public so they had a little better understanding.
Was she interviewed by the Fargo Police Department?
Yes, with their attorney.
Okay. And that happened at the Cass County Jail?
Yes, I believe so, yeah.
Okay. You mentioned a review is underway. You've been at this a long time. Just from a 30,000-foot view, do you see mistakes having been made?
No, I don't, although there's always room for improvement. And I think, again, reiterate,
no, I don't.
Was radar until the last week and a half, 2 weeks.
Like, this dude, Scott asked him, did you see any mistakes that were made there? He said with a straight face, no, I don't. Are you kidding me here? No mistakes were made? My God. And this, again, national story now. Look at this. Look, The Guardian is there, NPR News, Grand Forks Herald, Libs of TikTok. This thing has gotten national attention. And Gene, you're right. Sound like there's plenty of asses for the sling. 100%. First point I'd make is the systems of checks and balances, they failed spectacularly. The chief repeatedly emphasized systems, practices, checks, balances being in place. But if those were truly effective, how did this massive foobar happen? It points to potential gaps in how AI outputs are reviewed and how human oversight is applied in real-world scenarios, or this wouldn't happen. Second point, exculpatory evidence questions. Was clear evidence that could have exonerated Mrs. Lip? Was it overlooked or dismissed early on? Investigators, prosecutors, even the judge signed all of this off at various stages. Confirmation bias is what I see. Rushed processes and all of that. Communication breakdown on extradition. The claim that the Fargo PD investigators were unaware that she'd already been extradited and was being detained in Cass County is shocking to me. How does a basic status update like that fall through the cracks in a modern system? It raises concerns about interagency coordination, information silos, and basic tracking of suspects in custody. Fourth point, due process and rights implications. Being dropped into a hole and potentially forgotten about violates fundamental rights, speedy trials, notification, access to counsel. If systems fail to flag her location and status, it underscores how tech-heavy processes can sometimes dehumanize and delay justice rather than speed it up. And this is something that I've said right here. They didn't see this woman as a woman. And I don't know anything about this woman. I don't know. She could be a moonshine making meth head from the hollers of wherever. I don't care. She's still a child of God with the Imago Dei imprinted on her. She is still a person. And what they did is they dehumanized her. She's a criminal. That does not sit right with me. It doesn't. It's why, and I told my wife this. I don't, and there is something that Scott said in this interview. I didn't put it in here, but the implication was she didn't lose her home. She was living with someone. I don't give a damn. Like, I couldn't believe he said that. Like he was giving aid and comfort. And Scott is a friend. But friends can disagree. And I disagree vehemently that he said that. I don't care if she was living in a cardboard box. I don't care. I hope she gets $100 million out of this thing. I don't care if she was an addict. I don't care if she was an alcoholic. I do not care. She is a person. And if she lost everything, even if her, and I don't know if this is true or not. I have no idea. But Scott said it on air. Oh, if she was living with someone and that person was like, well, she can't pay, rent. He moved somebody else in there, or he found another girlfriend, or I don't know. Still, she is homeless now. She doesn't have her dog, her car, no house to go back to, no life to go back to. So it does not matter. It doesn't matter. And again, I hope they hit them hard. Because this guy, dude, the only solace that I have pertaining to Chief Zibolski is this.
So you get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
He's gone. He's out of there. That's the only solace that I can get out of any of this stuff. This guy, and if you listen to the entire interview, he actually says, Scott asked him whether or not, him leaving had anything to do with this. It absolutely did. It 100% it did. Even though he said, no, grandkids and, spending time with family and all that BS. It absolutely did. Absolutely did. And I think this case warrants a lot of scrutiny. And I hope it gets the scrutiny that is due. I don't know if it's fourth or fifth. Over-reliance on tech versus traditional policing. The interview highlights a broader issue, heavy dependence on AI databases and fancy systems. And I'm an IT guy, so I like fancy systems. But at the expense of old-school, shoe-leather detective work and common sense, or motherwit. And double-checking your gut, hunches. Tech is cool. But tech is a tool, not a replacement. And when it errs, human diligence has to catch it. This thing, like I said at the beginning, leaves me with more questions than answers. Overall, the responses seem defensive to me, procedural, rather than fully transparent. And this, to me, leaves lingering red flags about accountability, training on AI limitations, and post-incident reforms, and whether similar risk persists in other cases. And I guarantee you this, they're going to be looking at all of those cases now where they used AI. Because this guy is also, if you guys remember, he's the guy that said that in the exit interviews from where he was from and from here in Fargo, he is accused of treating his subordinates like country bumpkins. And if that's the case, that needs to be brought out. Like if there were cops there that says, I don't think that's her, and he's like, well, this is AI. Who are you, you North Dakota hick? That's a problem. And again, a lot of these elitist types, which he was, that's the way they think about you and me. Make no mistake. That is exactly the way they regard us. All right, man. Again, I've said this several times. I hope she sues for $100 million. I really do. I hope she never has to work a day in her life. Them grandbabies that she was babysitting when they kicked in her door in Tennessee, I hope they never have to work again. And it has to be that way. The amount of money has to be significant. It can't be a couple $100,000. It has to be so significant that at every point, again, you had a judge sign off. You had the prosecutor sign off. You had the investigators sign off. That is a broken system. They need to fix that. I mean, it doesn't help that Dave threw everybody under the bus. Like, it wasn't on me. All these people basically should have caught it. This is the system I was given, basically, is what this dude is saying on his way out the door. Like, he just, detonated a poop bomb and walked out the door, closed it, dropped the key off in the deposit box, and took off. He's out the door, man. I got no dog in this fight anymore. I'm done. I'm out. So I hope she sues for a significant amount of money so it financially disincentivizes people relying too heavy. Again, I am an IT guy. I'm an MCSE. I'm a network engineer. I build out systems. I love technology. But technology is a tool to help you. You rely too heavily on that tool, you'll miss things. I've been in people's offices where, I don't know, they have a database, and all of a sudden they have no idea where their data is. They're pulling up files, and it's coming up blank. You're getting errors and this and that, and I would tell them, well, have you checked your server? Why would I check my server? The computer is right here. Well, that's where your database is. Did you check that? Go back there, turn it on. Sometimes that's all it takes. Now, those people pay me because, and basically it was human oversight that caught a very, very small issue. Not an issue that shuts down the whole office, or have you calling a $85 per hour guy plus travel and blah 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 and this and that. Just a little mother wit, a little shoe leather. That's all it took. And a little shoe leather, months and months and months prior to her even coming to North Dakota, would have ruled her out. I saw the pictures, and I'm like, that's not her. Like, you could go online and see the pictures that they thought were, it's not her. And anyone with two eyes and the common sense God gave a grasshopper could see that. And you notice, as soon as she got an attorney involved, she was out in 2 days. They're like, wait, no. So are you telling me that in a bank fraud investigation, you didn't check her bank account? You didn't see where she was when this happened. You didn't see that she was in Tennessee. Like, come on, guys. All right. I'm going to get off that because obviously we're not going to get to all of my all of my stories. I do want to hit this Nick and Sarah. So it has been a pretty big deal for the past couple of years with the uncovering of massive, I believe, government-enabled fraud in this country. I've talked about it myself, even in my industry. And so I think when I put out my abbreviated form of my show sheet, I said, I think I spoke about California, but I'm going to broaden that out because, and I'll just use me as an example. A lot of times, and this is a fairly recent phenomenon because just, I want to say 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, it wasn't a big deal. Like, of course, you'd go in, I was the network administrator for UPS at Fargo and then Ericsson Dental Technologies after that. And you'd always have to deal with the software guys. And they were always overseas. It was always someone called Bob. No, my name is Mike. Seriously. And that was a complete lie. They were always from Indonesia. And, you just kind of dealt with that. But here in the past couple of years, it's been more than that. Like whole companies that build out networks, that manage your network, all of that are all from overseas. And what they do is they subcontract out to guys like me. Like, I don't get the big contract. You'd be shocked at all your local businesses that you're going in there and you're swiping your credit card. Some guy in India is getting all that information, and you guys don't realize that because we go in there when your kids go into the mall and they're using their credit cards or buying a phone or just being in there with all the RFID readers and all the chip readers and the barcode readers and all of that stuff, all things that I install. I know where the data goes, but I am the subcontractor building out the network. And there's something in here that Sarah Gonzalez is talking about that I feel is a much bigger story. These H-1B visas. And this is just in Texas, only in Texas. God, I want to do this in North Dakota. I might do it. I'd have to put my work on hold for a bit to do it, but I think I want to do this. The fact of the matter is, a lot of these people, a lot of these companies, there'll be one guy and his wife. They'll get 20 H-1B visas. And on their paperwork, all those people are making $100,000 a year. But they're not here. They're not here. When these people, and I'm just telling you, in my world, what I believe is happening is, like, Sarah is going to all of these businesses, knocking on the doors, asking where the employees are, and no one's there. Like, there's some of these offices have a card table set up in there, yet they have 20 H-1B visas that is saying they're working out of that, and they're not there. Where are those people? Like, the work is getting done, and I believe the work is getting done by people like me. Because I cannot tell you when the last time I was subcontracted out and the project manager was an American. I can't even tell you. Like, it's impossible for me to do. There is a bigger story here, and I don't think we're even scratching the surface. But I'm going to play, I think I'm going to hit a commercial, and then we're going to come back with Nick. I call it Nick and Sarah. So it's going to be the Nick Shirley thing. Like, that dude, he's even making the mainstream media do its job a little bit. All the hospice fraud, all the Medicare and Medicaid fraud. Like, it is just we are being fleeced. I'm just going to say it. Many of you already know this. You're a taxpaying American. You're a sucker because you're getting fleeced. This fraud could not happen without our federal government. It could not happen. It's not a thing without our federal government. And you're paying for it. We'll be back right after this message.
Okay, let's go.
I am Leon Francis of BlackBeardLogic on the Guns and the 701 Network. Let's get it.
Anvil Brand LLC, raising and training tomorrow's barrel horses right out of Bismarck, North Dakota. Tracy and her family are great American patriots who not only support the Second Amendment, but they also promoted what you're looking for, top quality barrel horses. Go ahead and give Tracy a call at 701-471-6629 and tell them Guns and 701.com sent you. That's Anvil Brand LLC out of Bismarck, North Dakota.
At Horton Laser Craft, we believe in the power of personalization. Whether it's a cherished memory, a special occasion, or a unique gift, our custom laser engraving brings your vision to life. Our expert craftsmen and state-of-the-art technology ensure every piece is a work of art. From personalized decor to one-of-a-kind keepsakes, Horton Lasercraft makes every moment unforgettable. Visit HortonLasercraft.com today and start crafting your perfect gift. For more info, email them at HortonLasercraft@yahoo.com or call them up at 605-545-7535. Horton Lasercraft, where memories are engraved.
T-shirts tucked in, know my worth, can't tell me nothing. White Nikes, albino, pink up my stilo, head to the top, bottom line is a motto.
Welcome back. It's Leon Francis with BlackBeardLogic on the Guns and the 701 Network. Let's get it.
So I've already taken up way too much time. So I'm just going to hop right into this clip. This is, I'm calling this Nick and Sarah. Again, everything is edited for time, hoping that the context of the content comes through. Here we go.
Can we open a hospice at? Get the Maybach just like you. Sir, how are you? Good. So what do you think about all this hospice fraud? Sir, you're in the Cybertruck, driving away, taking money from old people. Hello, can we ask you a quick question? Driving out in a brand new M8. They can't get out that easy. How can I get an MA as well? Should I open up a hospice? Listen to this thing. This is the sound of hospice money. Angels of Valley Hospice. We have Angels of Haven, Angels of Peace, Light of Angels.
Now, look at the, I don't know if that was a hotel or it doesn't look like apartments. It looks like some really crappy hotels that I've been in once or twice in my life. But look at that. And you have Mercedes-Benzes, BMWs, Tesla, Cybertrucks parked outside of these things. How's that grab you? I'm driving a 2014 Dodge Ram 1500 that I love. And look at these dudes. Not a single one of them American. Not a single one.
The BMWs, one right here, one right there, 2 brand new Mercedes over there. It just is unbelievable the amount of money that these people are making, and they're not even trying to hide it. Buying these
200 million right
every
there.
single person's wearing some sort of designer clothing as well. And this building looks like it used to be some sort of old motel that has turned into some cash grab, money grab for hospices here.
This is the massive scale of this fraud. $70 million in taxpayer funds. No, $170 million. And I think the last time I checked, it was $200 million. Fake hospices, ghost offices in this LA strip mall displaying hospice signs, but empty inside. Fake daycares, adult daycares. These are shells. Some maybe even child focus. And then they have shell companies and luxury lifestyle, fraudulent entities raking in millions from government programs, with the perpetrators facing no consequences and enjoying high-end living funded by us. This is unreal to me. This is government-funded fraud to me. Like, there's no real care provided at any of these places.
In Van Nuys, California, massive fraud is taking place with hospice. For instance,
I want you to see this. Like, what? Make sure you understand, and you're looking at what he's looking at. Like, all of these places, and I have a, I think I have a breakdown of it here. I'm going to try to get to it within the hour.
this location, Miracle Healing Hospice, billed over $1.3 million. Medicare paid them $966,000. Something interesting about this location. If you come right here to Miracle Healing Hospice, and if you want to knock on the door, nobody's going to answer because nobody's actually inside.
Look at that.
And so this right here is a prime example.
Does that piss you off? Because it pisses me off.
Example of the millions that eventually accumulate to billions of dollars of fraud taking place here inside of California with these things like hospice, home health care, adult day health care as well. And something interesting about this location, these are all hospices. All of these are hospices. But what's super interesting about this is if you take a look at the parking lot, the cars that are in here, you have a Cybertruck, you have a brand new BMW. Over there you have 3 really nice cars, a BMW, Mercedes, and a Mercedes. And these locations are billing millions of dollars. For instance, Guardian of Angels Hospice and Blossom Hospice, they're also here. They've actually fled the location. They billed $4.8 million and $3.4 million. Massive fraud taking place here inside the state of California.
Nick Shirley. All right, check this out right here. Look at the addresses here. Like, all of them are the same addresses. Look at this. All of them. Like, how? Right now, my wife and I are taking care of my father. And, like, it's coming out of our pockets. You know? And we have to see people, and people have to come in and check and do all of this stuff. So I'm wondering, how the hell does something like this, how do you have like 8 different friggin' home health care agencies and hospices in one tiny little office like that? Look at that. And here's another one. Here, give me a second. Like, to me, this, without someone in the government being involved and taking a pay cut, how is this a thing? Look at this. All of these are in the exact same, like, look at that. All of them from way up here all the way down to here. All of these are in one apartment. How is no one catching this? unless it's on purpose. How does this piss you off? Tell me that. Drop it in the comments. I think that we have been way too peaceful about government fraud and corruption. Just, again, liberals were in the streets with whistles and firearms and pink hair and over ice doing their legal duty to get people like this out of our country that are defrauding us, the taxpayers. They got in the street. They got in their faces. I mean, and we sit back and we see things like this. What is our recourse? What are our representatives doing about this? And I'm going to level with you. I think this stuff is happening right here in Fargo, right here in North Dakota. I don't believe that this is a Minnesota thing or California thing or a Texas thing. I think that everywhere you look and you see this immigrant population, you're going to find this because they're not smarter than us. They're not. But people in the government are working with these people. There's no way. I mean, there's no way this amount of fraud is going on and nobody. It takes this kid. It takes this kid who doesn't even live there to come. You're not going to tell me if I'm living in California in this area and I'm walking by here and I see Ahmed driving his damn Tesla truck or Omar driving his damn Mercedes Benz. I'm not going to feel some kind of way. Me, getting up at the butt crack of dawn, working my butt off, and if you saw me with a cyber truck, it means I won the lottery. That's what that means. If you see me with a 2026 Dodge Ram 1500, that means I won the lottery. Because no, guys, this cheeses my grits, man. It really does. And I think we need a lot more whistleblowers.
There's so many layers to this anti-fraud initiative that the president has directed the administration to focus on. But you know what's so crazy?
I'm glad to hear this, too. That's why I threw this in here.
That nobody until Donald J. Trump thought to focus on it. Now, I obviously, I love the president. I admire the president. But this fraud was staring us in the face.
That's what I'm talking about. Like, there's zero way that no one knew. There's zero way that this stuff was going on. And again, I'll go back to Dave Zibolski, the outgoing idiot at the Fargo Police Department. I'll go back to that idiot. Talking about the systems, the checks and the balances that they supposedly have. It seems to me that the checks and balances are in place to allow this to go on. So the checks and balances are rubber stamps to CYA all of the government officials. When all it takes is a teenager with a clipboard and a GoPro. And Donald Trump. It's why I can't get mad at the dude.
And nobody was doing anything about it. This is not rocket science.
100%.
When you have a Somali fraudster come into the United States illegally and then set up a school to collect tax dollars. And the name of the school is the Quality Learning Center.
How does this grab you? All you homeschoolers out there, how does this grab you? We've been fighting. We've been fighting to get the money to follow the child and getting all kinds of crazy pushback. All kinds of crazy pushback. So we educate our kid on our dime, the whole thing. Because you get so much crazy pushback from liberals and rhinos alike as homeschoolers. as homeschoolers. Yet some 16 IQ idiot from a third world country can come over here and open a learning center and misspell learning and get millions of dollars for doing that. How does that make you feel? It should make you feel like a sucker, because that's what I feel like. Like, these guys have been playing us, all of them. The Republicans that didn't want to pass, the money following the child here in North Dakota. Why? I want answers. I want answers. Does my name have to be Abu to get those kinds of grants? And if so, why? And again, this is stuff we all know. We all know it happens. We all know it's going on. And everybody turns a blind eye. Like Tim Walz over there. You think he didn't know what was going on? Absolutely he did. Because he told the people, the whistleblowers that stepped up, to shut up because you're racist. That's what he did. And it was effective. It has been effective. Anyway.
Learning Center. But when they put the sign up, they take the N out. So it says Quality Leering Center. And that group, the Quality Leering Center, I don't know about you, but I don't want to send my kids to a school where they can't spell learn. That group was getting millions of dollars from the American taxpayer. There is so much fraud in our system. There are illegal aliens who...
Yep. Again, I cut it. This is what I want you guys to... This is the thing that cheeses my grits, because I know that this is a thing. And I know that it's not just a thing in Texas. And God bless Sarah Gonzalez for going out here and getting this information. I know this for a fact because I work in this industry. I know that there's... And what Sarah is uncovering is only part of it. I think this thing is an iceberg. I think she's uncovering a bit at the top. The bit that's showing. I think that whatever is underneath is much more nefarious. Like, there are questions that I have, and you'll see this. Where are all these H-1B visas holders? Where are these people? They're supposed to be in this country. They're supposed to be working at these places that she's going. Where are they? Anybody know? Like, to me, that's concerning. If there is a person tied to this visa and we don't know where that person is, that's a problem. That's the first problem. Second problem, you will see on these documents the application, the fact that the application was secured, the HB1 visa was secured, and how much that person is making a year. And like on one, it's like 20 of them. They're all making $100,000 a year. Where's that money? Where's that money coming from? Are we going to ask? Like, Sarah doesn't even ask those questions. When I saw that, that was the first thing that popped out at me. That it jumped out at me. $100,000 per year per person. And we don't know where those people are. Where's that money coming from? And where is it going? You will also notice that that when she goes to their houses, and I think I caught like maybe 2 of the houses. This is a whole... You should go to Sarah Gonzalez's page. She has the entire thing on there, like a little docuseries, actually. And these people's houses are just... They're like $3-4 million mansions. And surprise, surprise, not a single one of them are American. They're all Indonesian. But here we go.
Razor Boulevard in Plano. They've got at least 7 H-1B workers who should be working on...
Look at that. Look at this. 101, like all of the base salary, all of them. And this was start date September 30th, 2024, all of them are making, so that is, like, look at that. Look at that base salary there. All of these are H-1B visa holders, software developers, all of them. And look at that. Look at the amount of money they're making, yet none of those people, either they don't exist or they're not actually working there. So where are they? Where are these people?
Let's check it out. Oh, Office Reimagined. That's one way to put it.
So, Innovative Datalytics stood out because it had no website, which is weird for a company with a bunch of software engineers here on H-1B visas. The visa paperwork listed the company in Suite 78, so we went looking for it, but couldn't seem to find that suite number in the entire building until...
I think we found Suite 78 right here, pretty cramped quarters for 7 workers, wouldn't you say?
Nobody in there, and there is a fucking card table set up again. Where are the computers? Where are the servers? Where's the technology that's happening here? Most importantly, where are the workers?
I think we found Suite 78 right here, pretty cramped quarters for 7 workers, wouldn't you say?
This one is Tech Bits on the LCA. We've got 2 2025 workers on site. Okay, it's locked. I don't think anyone is here at TechBits. All right, Unique Software Solutions have 4 H-1B visas. Let's see if anyone's home. Another locked door, 64. Can't find Suite 264. Oak Technologies lists Suite 264 as their HQ. I don't understand where is this office?
The way these tech companies get away with it is they blend in. There are actual companies who sponsor visas and contract out workers, so the scammers just hide amongst the crowd.
So A&A Infosystems is supposed to be at Suite 275. They brought in multiple 2025 workers that are supposed to be on site. 7 H-1Bs were approved in 2025 for this company, and we're here at Suite 275, and there's nobody here. But if you are looking for an office space to rent, I do have one for you. So curiously enough, we went looking for Oak Technologies in the previous building. It wasn't there. We couldn't find the suite. It was a missing suite. But we went to their website, and it turns out they list this building as their new address here at Suite 130, but there's a different company that's here that also happens to be on our list. Oh, there ain't nobody in there, and there's a fucking card table set up again.
Yeah.
Super strange that a technology company, 2 technology companies have just a spare room. Where are the computers? Where are the servers? Where's the technology that's happening here? Most importantly, where are the workers? Okay, here is Suite 175. Now, they had 21 H-1B visas in 2025, and we do have the records that show that they should have workers on site at this location. What do you know? Another locked door. Lights are out, nobody's home. We do have the peephole again. Let's check it out. I don't understand all these tech.
You guys do not understand how badly this video pisses me off. You have no idea. You have no idea.
Have tech in their name, no technology to be found, just a bunch of card tables. So I would say the only winner here are the card tables.
So what'll happen? I'm going to tell you exactly what happens in these scenarios. And again, I know this because it has happened to me countless times in the past, I want to say 2 years. Prime example, the company, I think it's MVE, downtown Fargo. Oh, even better, Boss Chicken and Pizza, downtown Fargo. Subcontracted me out to go out there and fix the network that they hired some cut rate Haitians to run, because they're not going to pay me the going rate. They got a bunch. Seriously, guys, and I have pictures. I think I'm going to post those pictures of how badly the cable was run. Cut cable that was connected with RJ45 connectors. That is a big no-no in a network environment. Huge no-no. How they busted these people's walls in the basement. How like the server rack was just the biggest rat's nest you ever want to see. How many holes that they punched in walls because they didn't understand the concept of fishing a wall. They had no idea. They figured, we just run this cable in here and we're out. I took about a half an hour. I documented everything, and then I told them, I'm not touching this. And of course, the guy on the other end of the line and this is something else that is very new. The people that you get that are going to subcontract you all use WhatsApp. They don't use telephones. They use WhatsApp. So you can see the country code, and it's like 20 digits. So they're not here. You know that like. And I asked the manager of that establishment, Boss Chicken and Pizza, whatever it was. I'm like, why don't you guys just hire local? And apparently they're a chain, and the chain contracts out to. And I know that UPS does that too, and some of these bigger. But you guys, you have to. If you want to build out your network and you want to have someone that's accountable, and you're not dealing with a subcontractor, you gotta deal with people like me, someone local. Someone, if you call me and say, hey, my register's down and blah blah blah, I'll ask you which register. I'll know exactly what cable run. I could be there, fix it in 2. But no, that never happens. You're always getting called by some contractor that's not just out of state. A lot of these companies are out of state, but not just out of country. Why are we doing that? Right there in Enderlin, a guy who is supposed to be a Trump supporter and all of this and that, and I'm going to rag on us for a bit. 2 seconds here. Supposed to be a big Trump supporter. Supposed to be like rah rah rah, MAGA, conservative, blah blah blah. He had a building over there, and I drive by there one day, and like he was a friend of mine, and I drive by there. He's got a bunch of Mexicans working on his building, and so I drive up, and I'm like, hey, what are you guys doing? Not one of them spoke English, and I'll tell him this to his face because we've already had it out. Big. Used to be the grocery store there, and they tore it out, tore it up, build it out, and I was just gonna like do the run the network and all of that, but no, he hired a bunch of Mexicans to do it because, what I fell out about is why didn't you hire? There are people in Enderlin that can do this work. Why not pay them a fair wage and get it done? But no, he would rather pay illegals because he doesn't have to pay them a fair wage. And we got to get our head, as conservatives, as Republicans, we really got to do something about that, about the way we operate. I am not blind to the fact, and Jason, we're not doing this. Anyway, what we have to do as Republicans, we have to realize that Republicans, like the Bush type Republicans, they love cheap labor. That's why they were so soft on immigration, because they want that cheap labor. They don't want to pay you a working, living wage. They don't want to pay you what you're worth. They'd rather pay that illegal less than to pay you what you're worth and pocket that money. And again, it doesn't work. I already gave you the example of downtown Fargo, and I can give you 100 more. Ask my wife. I talk to her about it all the time, probably more than I should. But how many screw-ups that I am called in, not as the contractor, but as a subcontractor to fix someone's screw-up. The trucking company in Midtown Fargo, I think it's MVE, it's like black and orange. They called me in because the Mexican subcontractors that they had out there screwed it up so bad. And now it's double work. They didn't label anything. You got dead runs. You're trying to test runs that just don't go anywhere. You're trying to tone runs back to the server rack, to the network rack, and you're just like, when they could have called a local guy, that local guy could have banged that thing out in like maybe a week. So we have some culpability here. You either want cheap labor or you want to get rid of the illegals. You can't have it both ways. And again, I see this guy with his Trump flag. I see him with, I support ICE and all of that. All of that's garbage. You don't. You want that cheap labor. You're a poser. You're a rhino. Anyway. Let's let this play out. I see I got a block and
Clearly, they're being bought and placed right in these empty rooms. Oh, we found Oak Technologies. It's not the same suite number that's listed on the address, but here it is.
Yeah, now you can't, Jason.
What a recurring theme.
He's an idiot.
All right, TechPath Inc., Suite T145 100 East Royal Lane. I'm going to be shocked to hear there's nobody here. Lights are off, doors locked. Multi-edge T155. I don't even have to try the door. I already know it's locked. No lights on. In this one office, 400 East Royal Lane,
Listen to this.
290. We found at least 19 companies so far that use this single suite all at the same time. Either they're listing it as their business address, or they're saying that they have workers there present at that worksite location. In fact, I'm going to list on the screen for you right now all of the companies.
Look at this. All of those companies supposedly are in that suite. Where are those workers? Ask yourself that. Where are these workers? And we have setups like this in Fargo, probably in Bismarck too, where you have these virtual office spaces that they set up. Like, there are spaces like this in Fargo. I know that for a fact. Again, I'm in this industry. Where are these workers? Where are R9 Technologies workers? Yeah.
That overlap with one another, sharing this office space. That's very questionable. These suites are pretty tiny. Now, let's check it out. This is 320 Decker Drive, Suite 100.
Listen to this.
Okay. But there's other suites within here. Okay, but all of these companies that I listed, never heard of.
Okay, so this one is a virtual office, so they don't have an actual office.
Okay.
They were here, they're not here, and they were here, they're not here.
They're not here anymore.
Neither one of those are here.
Okay, what about IT apps?
No.
Okay, very strange. Why are all of these companies listing a suite when the companies clearly don't exist here? It's an address to an entire building. They say they've never heard of any of these companies, and the companies that they have heard of never come in. We'd never see these people. They have no physical presence at this location. Very strange.
And again, what I want you guys to take away from this is happening right here in Fargo. It's happening in Bismarck. The favorite places that you go, the places that your kid goes, when they're swiping their cards or they're playing on their phones, all that data, it's not going to an American company. I'm telling you that right now. It's why I drop my phone in a Faro bag or I leave it in the truck. There are certain companies that I will only pay cash at. And you guys should really do your research. Because you think just because the company's face is here, that's great. But where is their technology arm coming from? That's what you got to ask. And again, I know this because I install the servers. I install the APs. I install the card readers. I install the RFID readers. I install everything that you need for your network to run. And I tie it all back to the server and all back to the home server because most of these servers now are Blade or cloud. And if you have a cloud server, where's that information going? If I am calling the guy, like I do the rudimentary install of the initial software to get the server up and running. So if it's a Lenovo, I do that. I get it up and running as a Lenovo server, and then I call the whoever the software that's going on. Let's just say I'm in let's just say Old Navy. I'm in Old Navy. I get their initial setup up and running, and then I call the guys that are going to put the software on that server, have them remote into the server because I've installed it, I've racked and stacked it. I call them and I go, hey, it's fired up, it's ready to go, it's set up as this type of server, it's set up on this type of RAID system, blah, 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 this and that. And then the guy on the other end has an Indonesian accent. Now that guy, that software, is running everything in Old Navy. It's running the cameras. It's running the card swipe system. It's running the cash register. It's running every aspect of that store. Where is that information going? Sarah is asking very good questions. But I'd pose another question. If you have all of these virtual offices running, all with H-1B visas, where is your information going? And where are these people tied to these visas? What are they doing? And you should ask yourself that question the next time you're in a store. It's one of the biggest reasons I carry cash with me. If you don't think that China and Indonesia and, I don't know, name a country, doesn't have your data, I can't help you. I can't help you. This is a self-inflicted wound right here. And until we get, I have no problem with freezing all H-1B visas, and there are a couple of other type of visas that foreigners come over here and work under. Freeze all of them. Root out the fraud. And then if needed, because another thing that I'm sick of hearing is they're doing jobs that we aren't capable of doing or can't do. I can do all of those jobs. I'll never get the chance, though. Because even local companies love that cheap labor. They love it. And until we get a hold of that, until we criminalize that, what they're doing is controlled opposition. Until we do something about that, Republicans are just, it's just control. Oh, you want to secure your elections by only having citizen votes and blah, 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 and then they'll make all this, all of that, all of it is controlled opposition. They could do something about it if they wanted to, but and even the suggestions that they're offering don't fix the problem. Does not fix the problem. And it never will. And now that I'm upset, I thought they quit making pennies. Yeah, that guy, he's broken, dude. Like, and you'll notice he'll hop on my social media from time to time, and he's just bat crap crazy. I never respond to people like that. Like he leaves comments, he does his thing. I never respond to him because he's insane. Like if he said one cogent thing to me, I'd probably respond back. I never respond to people like that. That guy, I think he's unemployed. I think he's a drug addict. I don't know that. And maybe I should stop doing that because that's disparaging him. And I don't know. Jason, if you're still listening, I should not have said that. My apologies. But I do believe that dude is disturbed. And I hope he stays on the western side of the state because he made a comment the other day. And I'm just going to tell you. I'm a Second Amendment supporter. I train. I work out. I did the RFK challenge with no problem in 6 minutes. It might have been a little over 6 minutes. You're going to have a tussle on your hand. And that's only if I'm being generous. If I'm in a mood, there's not going to be a tussle. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Anyway, I want to leave this... See what you did, Jamie? Jamie got me all. I thought that I'm not going to be able to hit any of the. Man, I had some good stuff here, but I can't go 4 hours. So I'm going to end it with the feel good story. Now, if you guys listen to, here, give me 1 second.
What they did, search.
Nope. I want to stop that. So if you guys heard me this morning on K-Fire, when when me and Todd kind of started off, I told him, happy Afro Man Day. This is Afro Man. Like, I'd never heard of this dude before. I think it was Monday. Like, a lot of stuff happened to me on Monday. So by the time I get to Friday, I'm all, like, amped up, dude. So someone sent me this. I think it was my friend Gabriel Benton, and if you're listening, thanks for that. But he put it on my radar. This dude has horrible music. Because I Got High, I guess, is one of them, but he has a bunch of others. And what happened to this dude? Like after I dug into it, I'm like, all right, I can see what's going on here. So. I'm just going to break this down, and then I'm going to play this. The entire Afro Man trial has been one of the funniest things I've ever seen. So these cops raid his house for BS reasons. They steal his money. They break his door. They screw up his house. They didn't find a thing. Nothing whatsoever. No charges. Nothing. And then this guy spends the next 3 years making songs that make fun of all the officers involved by name and even use footage of the raid from his own closed captioning TV cameras. He has songs with titles in it like Randy Walters is a son of a bee, Lick 'em Low Lisa. That was like, I couldn't get through that song. It was so funny. But I could see why old Lisa was a little upset. One of the officers during the raid looked like he was about to eat some lemon pound cake sitting on Afro Band's counter. So he made a whole album calling the officer fat. So they got mad. These officers got mad. And they filed a lawsuit for defamation. And some of the craziest things that I saw in this thing is he made a song about sleeping with one of the officers' wives. And on the stand, his attorney asked, this can't be defamation basically if, that happened. So can you confirm that your wife didn't sleep with him? And the officer said he could not confirm that. Like, it was crazy. This whole thing, man. This is absolutely insane. I'm going to play this.
What they did, searching your house, gave you the right to do everything you
Under
got.
the circumstance that I got freedom of speech, After they run around my house with guns and kick down my door, I got the right to kick a can in my backyard, use my freedom of speech, turn my bad times into a good time. Yes, I do. And I think I'm a sport for doing so, because I don't go to their house, kick down their doors, flip them off on their surveillance cameras, then try to play the victim and sue them.
You were at Lisa Phillips's deposition, correct?
Yes, sir.
In your lawyer's office?
Yes, sir.
Same office where you filmed part of that video last Friday?
Yes, sir.
And you saw how upset she was when she was answering your lawyer's questions about how this had affected her, right?
Yes, yes.
And you saw your attorney say, do we need to take a break?
Yes.
And you saw her say, no, let's go on and get this over with.
Yes, sir.
You saw all that.
Yes.
You knew she was upset.
Just like she knew I was upset when she was standing in front of my kids with an AR-15 with her hand around the trigger ready to shoot me. Just like she knew I was upset when she cut my cameras. But I'm not a person, she is. So I'm sorry for being a victim. Let's talk about the predators.
Okay. So you saw all that. You saw how upset she was. You heard the testimony about her children. You heard the testimony at the depositions about Randy Newland's daughter who came home upset. You heard all that. But you're still posting stuff about
Yeah,
it.
because I understand it was Randy's fault and all of their fault for coming in my house in the first place. So if they hadn't came to my house, their children wouldn't be saying nothing. None of this would be going home if they did their research and did things right. So all of this is their fault. And now they want to sue me for their mistake.
Is there anything that could change your mind about what you're doing to these deputies?
Is there anything that can change my mind about the fact that they shouldn't have been at my house in the first place? Is there anything that can change my mind about how my money shouldn't have been touched in the first place? No.
That's all the questions I have.
I bet.
You're welcome.
100%. 100%. This dude is like my new hero. Like, he's got the American flag suit, the glasses, the tie, the big afro. I'm growing out my fro, y'all. I'm growing this bad boy out 100%. This dude, I started following this case, and like, not only did they not find anything, they had CIs that gave them garbage information. Like, the whole thing was botched. And again, I'll go back to Dave with his systems of checks and balances. Nobody caught that. Nobody caught that this dude, like, was clean. Yeah, he made songs about, like, he's wearing the blunt little pinky ring and all of that stuff, and he says, like, because I got high or what. They didn't even find a blunt. They didn't find anything, like, absolutely nothing, because that's not who he is. It is a character that he plays. And so they busted and he has like all of these surveillance, and he uses these surveillance in his videos that he makes, and they've gone viral. Like, they're playing them in clubs and whatnot. Officer Pound Cake, Lemon Pound Cake, Lick 'em Lowly. Like, I could not even get through some of those. I was showing my wife, and she's like, nope. It's that bad. But you hear this brother on the stand articulate his point of view, and I agree with it. 100%. Government overreach right here. A little shoe leather would have prevented all. And then these officers get so butthurt that they ruined this dude's day for a second. And then he snapped out of it. And he, like he said, he turned his bad time into a good time. Capitalized on it, is making bank on it. Lord, yeah, you're right, man. Making bank on it, and they can't handle it. Like, they're in there crying, they're in there doing X, Y, and Z. And like he says, you don't think that that's traumatic to kick in a dude's door with his kids there. He isn't a criminal at all. Like, if he was a criminal, you know, I'm not. What's the short comedian? You know, screw those kids. I'm not that guy. that overweight cop did get. I saw that, man. I say, and he slowed it down and backed it up. He absolutely did. And then he says they stole some of his money. Like he had a bunch of loose money in there. You know, I guess in America you can't do that, even though that's BS. You should be able to have $1 million and unmarked bills in your safe at any given time for any reason that you want, and no cop should. And this is my humble opinion. It's not my humble opinion. I'll take that back. It's our founders' opinion that property rights are a thing. And if that cash is your property, you shouldn't have to tell someone, well, I got this money because of X, Y, and Z, or I got it from X, Y. No, it's your property. It's like the car sitting out in my driveway. I'm not going to tell you why I got that car or whatever. But anyway, I've ranted long this evening, and I'm still tired. Like when I'm done here, I'm crawling up the stairs. I'm going to bed. Nope, I think Eli wants to have a fire, so I might go out there, have a beverage. Oh, I hope you guys enjoyed my ranting tonight, enjoyed the show a little bit, even with that whole Jason Petty guy hopping on here and the bots and all of that good stuff. I'm going to hit one more commercial, come back, wrap this thing up. I'll be right back. Leon Francis, BlackBeardLogic, Guns in the 701 Network. We'll be right back right after this break.
Lauer Auto Repair, located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Give them a call at 701-258-6308.
The team of mechanics at Lauer Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with Lauer, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake. Lauer Auto is your pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at Lauer Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our pro Second Amendment, pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's Lauer Auto Repair, 701-258-6308.
701-258-6308.
Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
When you want it done right,
Go where lemons go.
Kalen's Auto Service, owned and operated by Kalen and Misty Foss, lifelong locals with over 25 years experience. From modern rides to classic restorations, they can handle it all. Top quality work, fair price, and honest hometown values. Located just one block south of Highway 12 on 6th Avenue West in Lemon, Kalen's Auto Service, serving you with all your auto repair needs.
For the best gun gear for every and any situation, Little Angry Man Arms LLC has you covered. Top-notch guns from top-name brands like Winchester, Glock, Sig Sauer, and Ruger to essential extras from Magpul, Streamlight, Hollow, Sun Optics, and more. Little Angry Man Arms LLC have everything to make your shooting adventures a success. Visit littleangrymanarms.com today and gear up for your next big hunt, competition, or home defense. Don't miss out on our exclusive deals. Little Angry Man Arms LLC, based in Trail City, South Dakota, your ultimate hunting partner.
At Horton Laser Craft, we believe in the power of personalization. Whether it's a cherished memory, a special occasion, or a unique gift, our custom laser engraving brings your vision to life. Our expert craftsmen and state-of-the-art technology ensure every piece is a work of art. From personalized decor to one-of-a-kind keepsakes, Horton Lasercraft makes every moment unforgettable. Horton Lasercraft is owned and operated by a local veteran and his wife located near Thunderhawk, South Dakota. They provide custom laser products at a reasonable price, and their turnaround time is fast and efficient.
Custom board cutting, glassware, decanter sets, mugs, assorted stainless steel jewelry, assorted tags, decor, custom acrylic nightlights, and much, much more.
Call them up at 605-545-7535. Horton Lasercraft, where memories are engraved.
Welcome back, welcome back. Oh, Afro Man is still hanging out, huh? That here, I'm gonna get rid of that. There we go. There we go. So, before I get out of here, I do want to, I didn't get to all of the topics that I wanted to touch on tonight, obviously because I bloviated a little too long. Holy buckets, I'm almost 2.5 in here into a 2-hour show. So, yeah, that's a thing. I'm probably gonna retire my phone so Clay doesn't call me and yell at me. So, yeah, take it easy. One shot. I did go a little long. I did not want to leave you guys without addressing this. Now, if you want to hear my opinion on the NDGOP convention, I'd encourage you to check out K-Fire, me with Todd this morning, because I kind of went off there too. I've been kind of going, these Asian ladybugs are just, good God. Anybody got a good remedy to get rid of those things? Shoot me a text or something. I really want these things gone. As soon as it warmed up, they're all over the place again. But anyway, if you want my opinion on the NDGOP and you didn't get it from my social media, which I talk about quite often, check out Todd Mitchell this morning, Mitchell in the Morning. I was on there, and I kind of went off, and he just kind of let me go, man. He just kind of let me go. But I'm going to leave you guys with this. I think, and I had a segment here called, here, I'm going to pull it up. I'm not going to dig into it like I wanted to, but I do want to make sure I pull this up. Here we go. You might be a rhino if Rob Port agrees with your position and you're afraid to ask your constituents' point of view. And that is obviously a takeoff the Jeff Foxworthy, you might be a redneck if. So, yeah, this is the way I feel about that. And I was happy to see that Rob was not is not going to be at the NDGOP stirring up his special brand of trouble. I'm glad to see that happened. But in a nutshell, I'm going to just hit my points that I wrote out here quickly and try to be done by 2.5 hours. So I got, 7 minutes? Here we go. Point one, grassroots are revitalizing the party, not destroying it. Everyday North Dakotans are finally getting involved because district leaders are encouraging participation. And that's unlike the past establishment control, where info was hard to find, bylaws were hidden, and involvement was discouraged. We are building an open and inclusive NDGOP, and we're not excluding anyone. And it wasn't us that chose to walk away. The establishment did. So they can't blame us for the rift in the party. The traditional Republicans boycotted meetings and the convention and then complained about it. Adults make choices, guys. You taking your little ball and you're running home, that's your choice. And I'll say this. I respect a person that can sit and argue his point to me, even if I don't agree with it. And I said that this morning. The fact that you're willing to sit across from me and you know for a fact that we're going to have words, that I'm going to hold your feet to the fire, that you choose to come and sit there, take the heat, explain your point of view, I respect the hell out of that. When you don't do that, that shows me a lot about your mettle, not mine. So that's where I stand on that. I believe that we've been asleep too long and we trusted the wrong people. Rank and file conservatives voted Republican, and we expected them to uphold the platform, to protect kids, to guard our money, to limit government. And instead we get vetoes on common sense protections and excuses. That's not our fault. And I'll say this one last thing. It seems to me that the establishment Republicans do not want an informed consent from the folks here they're supposed to represent. They want us dumb and voting for the R, which is why they don't want to come to the convention. That's why. They're Democrat light. It's like Perry said on the Due North Political Podcast. We ordered a Coke. Now, we can argue what type of Coke. It could be cherry Coke. It could be Coke Zero. It could be Diet Coke. But we still want a Coke. If you're giving us 7-Up, then the problem isn't us. It's you. And that's where I am with this whole thing. Like, I don't understand some of the votes. I don't understand all of the angst about Matthew Simon. And I said this morning. That dude is cut from the same cloth that I'm cut from. That dude turns a wrench in his garage. He has calluses on his hands. I believe he has a Dodge 1500, as a matter of fact. He gets out there, he hits the weight. He loves his kids. He loves his family. He's a godly man. He's everything that a Republican is supposed to be. And they hate him. They fought against this guy since the day he got the chairmanship. They were fighting against him before he got the chairmanship. That should tell you something. That should tell you something. I can't say that enough. And the thing that sticks in my craw is there's so many uninformed, uninvolved idiots out there that are going to vote for that R. And they just are. Because these rhinos have figured out how to game the system. Once they get that incumbent status, that's all they're looking for. They don't need you anymore. They don't want you anymore. Like Rob Port was going on about, the grassroots using the bylaws and blah, blah, blah. That means we're informed, dumbass. That means we read up on things. That means that we're not going in blind. That means we are an informed constituent. And that's what they don't want. They do not want us informed. They want us to say, yes, sir, may I have another, when they screw us. Because they want us to believe that is the only way to get anything done. It's for them to do it and us to agree to it. Without any research, without any elbow grease, without any skin in the actual apparatus. They don't want you there. They don't like you there. They don't want to talk to you. And that's a problem. And I support Matt 100%. Like Dan says, Matt's a boss. And he's a good one. These other guys, I'll just say this and I'm going to sign off. The schism that is in the North Dakota Republican Party is not because of us dirty, unwashed, but informed folks in the grassroots. It's the elite at the top. And if Rob Port agrees with you, then you're the problem. Don't let the doorknob hit you. And all of that. Leon Francis, BlackBeardLogic, Guns in the 701. God bless. Good night. Hope you enjoyed the show.